All right, all right. Steelers pre-snap in the house. Luther Dupree. I got my partner, Claudio Rosano. We have Smokin Jim by phone. The Obama phone went out, I guess, today, Jim. I don't know what happened. But we're going to get started. Let's get started with our review. We all called a Steelers victory last week. Claudio, your thoughts, and then we'll go to Smokin Jim. What were your thoughts on the game, Claudio?
Remember Denny Green? We thought who we thought they were, right? The Steelers did what they were supposed, who we thought that they were. They except for the running game, but they did everything else pretty good. They confused Burrow. They put pressure on him. They made him miss bad. They did a great job stopping the run. They did a great job defensively. I was very happy with that. Special teams wasn't too bad. Offensively, they passed the ball, spread the ball around. I'm glad they're using Ebron even more. The only thing is the running game wasn't there. Now, that would have been a great game, as I said last week, to really kick that off. And they're going to have to get it going eventually because they can't just put all the – I don't think they should be because they're not a one-dimensional team. I think they have enough ability to have a balanced attack. But as far as the Cincinnati game, they blew them out. It should not have been a close game, and it wasn't. They dominated them. They should have, and they did. They did everything they were supposed to do.
Yeah. Smoker Jim, your thoughts on the game?
Hey, Lou, coming into the season, I thought the Harlem Globetrotters had the easiest schedule in the world. The Steelers got them beat.
Wow.
Hey, listen, the Steelers this week are playing a rookie quarterback in Jacksonville, playing a rookie running back. The team lost 8 games in a row. Last week, the Pittsburgh Steelers is playing a one-dimensional team in Cincinnati. They only won 2 games this year, 1 game last year, and the hurricane comes in. Windy conditions. Cincinnati's a passing team, and they couldn't pass. Burrow had showed that he don't have the strongest arm in the world, and I tell you what, after the game, I was convinced that Joe Burrow is another young quarterback that Duck is better than.
Oh, my gosh. You still on this thing? Listen, the Steelers did what we thought they would do. I called it. The defense made the young quarterback look like a young quarterback. Sutton once again came up with another fumble. This is like 3 games in a row that he's caused a turnover. Really impressed with what he's doing. The offense, yes, the running game is a problem. And I blame a lot of it on Connor. If you look, the offensive line is doing the best opening holes. But when they do, he's making his vision is not good. He's picking the wrong hole. He's trying to get outside. He doesn't have the speed to get out there. So I'm really disappointed in the run game. McFarland is back this week. Hopefully him or Snell could get in there some. But, they got to get that going because against the better teams, you're going to have to hold the ball a little more. The passing, when the weather gets bad, you don't want to be passing 50 times a game. But they did what they had to do against a young, struggling Bengals team. So that was impressive. They finally had a game where they just punished the team. So that was very good. And we'll see how it goes this week. But, once again, Steelers defense, all the turnovers, the sacks. Watt had 2. Dupree had 1. I think Tuitt had 1. So it was great. And it was good to have Tyson Alualu back. They really shut down anything that the Bengals wanted to do. And they had Burrow shook. Dupree put out another quarterback when he hit him on the sideline. He was limping from about the 3rd quarter on. So that was pretty good. And, of course, Claypool just continues to impress. Another 2 touchdowns. So I was really impressed with what they did. Hopefully they can keep it going, not have a let-up game. We know how they struggle against Jacksonville in the past. But, we'll see. I'm impressed. But let's get started on this next game. Jim, let's start with you first as we look at, our offense versus the Jaguars D. What are your thoughts?
Well, again, Luther, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they can't run the football because it ain't Connor. Like you said, it's not the offensive line. Listen, whenever a team goes to the Chicago Bears 46 defense and shuts you down, you got a problem because it takes personnel with the 46 defense. Buddy Ryan was great in Chicago. He was great with the Philadelphia Eagles. But the Arizona Cardinals, 46 defense couldn't stop nobody. The Pittsburgh Steelers can't run because Russ Grimm and Mike Munchak, the two of the greatest offensive line coaches in the history of the game, are no longer there to make adjustments. Those guys beat the 46 defense. The Hogs of the Washington Redskins used to run on the 46 defense. Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers is a one-dimensional passing team right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars defense done quit. Miles Jack used to be a Pro Bowl linebacker. He looks like he's trying to get out of town. The Pittsburgh Steelers should be able to put up as many points passing as they want to this week.
Okay. All right, Claudio, what are your thoughts? And we got Terry French. What? He agrees with Smokin Jim. We do have a pretty easy schedule, but this is the NFL. Any team can beat any team at any time. That's perfect. You can only play who's in front of you. All right, Claudio, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree with Jim and the personnel, and he said a key word, adjustments. And I agree with Terry, my friend Terry, my childhood friend Terry French, who calls in the show quite often. He's right. Anybody can beat anybody at any time if the Steelers allow it. Okay. But they're going to have to run the ball. And how do you run the ball better? I think one of the things is to go deep more and push the defense back. Okay. And then open up the middle and inside a little bit more and help out the running game as much as possible. I also agree with you, Luther, as far as Connor not reading the right holes. I think the offensive line isn't doing that bad of a job. I think he has to hit those holes better, which I think Anthony McFarland, again, it would be a key factor in that. Connor is more of a power guy. Use him as such, or he should use himself as such. Jacksonville doesn't have a great defense. Again, like Jim said, they've lost, 8 in a row? But they have to establish the running game. If they just pass, okay, I think they're short-sighted. I'm not saying worry about Kansas City or whoever. Remember before, they would worry about New England 2-3 games ahead of time. Not good to do. I'm talking about establishing a game plan, establishing the running game, establishing the fact that the defense cannot pin their ears back and just go after Ben, because eventually they will. And if you do want to look ahead, which you don't want to look ahead as far as teams are concerned, but in the playoffs, you do want to keep certain offenses, without saying their name, off of the field. How do you do that? Run the ball, kill the clock. And the thing is, I do think, because Connor has done it before, McFarland could be a huge factor in this. We've been talking about McFarland from day one. But you have to give him a shot. Not just one carry, not just 3 carries and then say the hell with it. Let's just go to the shotgun all day long. They're going to have to do it. How do they help the running game out? Again, go deep. You have Claypool who can go deep. Okay. I'd use Ebron a little bit deeper. Then that opens up the middle for the running game. But you have to establish that running game. If they do that, they're winning, obviously. And they're doing great, obviously. They're scoring 30 points a game, obviously. But can you imagine what they would do if they get that running game going? And again, the playoffs is a different animal.
For sure. And when we talk about the Steelers and their history in Jacksonville, that's one thing we got to worry about. One of my favorite memories is when when Kyle Ramos came on the field after a turnover, as we see here. They got a turnover. He's standing on the field. What is it about Steelers coaches and standing on the field? It's pretty much on the field to play. But I think we look at our offense. This is the game. Can we try to get the running game going? Mix in some guys. Their play calling has been very basic with the run game. It's like they want the run game to fail so Ben can throw for 50 times. I'd like to see Watt in there more to open up some holes, and then maybe James Conner's vision could be better. Just follow the fullback because Watt is going to bring the wood. But I think we can do some great things. I think Ben, they have no chance of stopping our receivers. We have the best receiving core in the NFL. Whoever you don't double team, we have a matchup advantage of. So we just got to keep that going. Ben is playing lights out, not forcing the ball. So I'm loving that. All right,
Luther and Jim, let me ask you guys a quick question. Do you blame the Fickner in Canada, who's getting some print, or do you blame Ben for that? I mean, for me, I think he is probably, this is my guess, probably calling 80%, 75% of the plays. I'm sure the offensive coordinator in Canada, Fichtner in Canada, would like to establish more of the run. I think, I'm asking you guys, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's more Ben or the offensive play calling on the offensive coordinators?
Jim, you want to?
Well, Ben is a quarterback that likes to throw, so Ben is always going to throw the football a lot. Again, the running game, in my opinion, has nothing to do with the quarterback, Coach Canada, offensive coordinator. It has everything to do with the offensive line coach. You need somebody with a little gray in his hair. You need a great offensive line coach to make adjustments, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will not be able to run the football this season.
All right, we got another comment. Tyson, my brother, says, like the use of McFarland, but he has to show more when he does get that 1 or 2 touches.
And Tyson's right. But again, we've said this from the beginning. I think McFarland's one of those guys who gets 1 yard, 3 yards, then he'll bust one for 12, 13, 4 yards, 30 yards. I think he's one of those guys who, if you look at his stats in college anyway, I think he's one of those guys. He's a home run hitter. But I think they should use him.
And Tyson says they seem to be able to arm tackle McFarland a lot. Yeah. He's not going to break any tackles, man. You could catch him with a shoestring, one finger. You know, he's a speed back, but he's not powering through anybody. Unlike Connor, he's not looking for contact. You know. All right, and let's see. We got Vince. He says it's all Ben. It's all Ben. Yeah, Ben. If he get a chance, he's passing that ball every time, man. Which you can't blame him. He wants to put up numbers, but they have to learn how to establish this run, because you could see a time where they could get a lead against maybe a Kansas City, and then you can't hold the ball with the running game, or even a Baltimore. So
what's happening, Vinny?
So, hey, Claudio, start us off. What about the D? All right, hold on. Let's see. Still better than Switzer, though. Yeah, I definitely agree. Hey, he brings up another thing, man. Ray McLeod has really been a great addition out of Clemson. I thought he should have been getting more time on other teams. Yeah. But, man, when he touches the ball, he has that little hesitation. We'll almost stop like Le'Veon Bell, wait for the hole to develop, and he'll just shoot through it. I'm loving, that pickup. That was
I'm just saying Ray is a Pro Bowl player. He's on his way to the Pro Bowl.
For sure. All right, let's move on to the defense before we get over to Claudio's highlights. How about our defense versus the Jags offense?
Well, again, another young quarterback. I mean, you talk about a schedule working out perfectly for you as far as quarterbacks are concerned. This is it, okay? They have a rookie, third start in the NFL, Jake Luton. He has a strong arm, okay? But he's one of those guys I think is going to try to take some chances. I've said this before. Everybody says, what about the Steelers defense? Big splash. Okay, great. But when you do try to make those splash plays, what happens is you create other holes. You create opportunities for a quarterback with a strong arm or with good legs to take advantage of that, just like Gilbert did a couple weeks ago. Okay, now, last week they didn't do that. They covered their gaps, covered their holes. They didn't take as many risks, as many chances. You don't have to do that with this kid. Play a solid game. Play smart. Okay, now they do have a good running back that scares me, James Robinson. Averaging 4.4 a game. He's one of those guys, a no-name guy thus far. He's one of those guys who can hurt the Steelers if they lack the focus. They'll have the intensity. I'm not worried about the Steelers' intensity. It's worried about the focus and the old New England Patriots thing I said before. Do your job. But one thing about Jacksonville, we talk about the Steelers' weapons. Jacksonville has several weapons, a wide receiver. Clark isn't bad. Cole Sr. isn't bad. Then they have that, I don't know if it's Chanel, the wide receiver. He isn't bad. Then they throw the running back Robinson out of the backfield as well. So they do have some weapons. Again, I think the Steelers they'll do great against them if they don't just go for the splash. Put pressure on this young quarterback, make him look like they did Burrow last week. Burrow's missed like crazy.
Right.
That's what they have to do. And Gilbert, they allowed him to be successful with his legs and his accuracy because they didn't blitz him. I don't know how many packages they changed. They have to make this kid know that he's in the NFL against perhaps the best defense in football. Confuse him, put pressure on him. Don't allow him to sit back and use that arm and throw when he wants. Put all the onus on the running back, who's still pretty damn good, okay? But they're going to have to focus and not just play with emotion. They're going to have to play focused as well.
Okay. All right. We got two more. Terry said we're going to have to be able to confuse the young quarterback. Oh,
Yep.
For sure. Definitely agree with that. Hilton is enticing is back again. Hilton is back, not only the quarterback pressure, but also good to help with the run D. Oh, for sure, man. Hilton's a big loss that we were missing for a couple games. Getting Alualu back last week and Hilton back, I expect us to really confuse this young quarterback and get some more turnovers. Claudio, spot on. All right, once again.
Thank you, John.
Is on you. Spot on. All right, let's go.
Check is in the mail, John. The check is in the mail.
Jim, you want to weigh in on this? But
yeah, I'll weigh in. First of all, just to correct you, Luther, Doug Gould was never on the field because Bill Cowher was a raw coach, and Mike Tomlin's a cheerleader. That's why they're on the field.
And they didn't have a team in Jacksonville when Noah was coaching. All right, Smokin' Jim.
But hey, listen, Luther. Again, Luther and Claudio. Keep in mind, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, I've been saying this all year long, they cannot stop the pass. They only played one team so far this year that has a passing game rated in the top 20 in the league. Everything the Steelers is playing has been in the wheelhouse. They have an easy schedule. They playing a bunch of teams that can't win. Hey, listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers have T.J. Watt, the greatest linebacker in Steeler history. He's going to wear out if he don't get some help from the left side. Cam Hayward is having a horrible season. This guy got 2 sacks on the whole season and one snow angel in Dallas when he laid out on the field for almost the entire fourth quarter. T.J. Watt's going to have some help. Hey, listen. They're playing a young quarterback that you can't allow to get in the rhythm. This was an uncoordinated 6'6", 2-star recruit coming out of high school. He went to Idaho and couldn't cut it. He lit up the junior college and couldn't stay healthy at Oregon State until his senior year. But he threw for 29 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. My scouting report, I love James Robinson and Illinois State. Here's a guy in my scouting report. I said, reminds me of Thurman Thomas. He runs like Thurman. He follows his blocks like Thurman. And now, to the surprise of the National Football League, he's catching like Thurman. He got 30 catches already. He didn't catch the ball at Illinois State. He just ran for 1,900 yards and 20 touchdowns as a senior. So he can hurt you a little bit. And like Claudio said, Keelan Cole, outstanding wide receiver, can get deep even though he's slow, 4.740. But that 92-yard punt return, he ran away from everybody. He got football speed. So this is a team that can hang around a little bit. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers is looking forward to Baltimore, they could get beat.
Good point. Good point. Can he keep track of his helmet, Smokin' Jim? We know Thurman Thomas has some issues with that. That's the only problem. Hey, Claudia, it's your time now. Wishing your huddle up, Claudia.
If Jacksonville comes out early and positive and gets some confidence going, or even one big play, the coaching staff has to flip out. They have to get on those guys, whoever made the mistake, be it on defense, offense, whatever. They're going to have to say, hey, guys, we got to turn it up. We got to wake up. Okay, these guys aren't coming here and laying down for us. They don't care what your record is. They don't care who you are. They don't care who we are. They're going to have to squash the team leaders. Watt and Hayward are going to have to pick it up right away, and the coaching staff. I'm talking about if Jacksonville has an opening drive and scores, that's it. They have to just flip out on these guys and turn it up and let them know, hey, we're in for a dogfight. Let these guys know who you are. If not, the game, as Jim said, could get out of hand. Okay, because they could be looking forward to Baltimore. Who knows? But I guarantee you, I said this before, I guarantee you the coaching staff did not sleep last night. Players, yes. Coaching staff, no. Coaching staff is always worried. Coaches always, they never take any team for granted. They never say, or like Terry said, anybody can win at any time. The Steelers are going to have to play focused and emotional. But again, that word focus, they can't take these guys lightly. As soon as one thing happens, one thing. They're going to have to treat it like they're losing 30-0, and they're going to have to play violent. They're going to have to play with a lot of emotion. They cannot take this team lightly. If not, they're going to let Jacksonville get confidence. If not, they're going to let Jacksonville stay around and hang in there the entire game, and that's not good. That's not good.
Okay. All right, Smokin' Jim, what you got for us, man?
Well, first of all, the Pittsburgh Steelers ain't playing Jake the Snake at quarterback. The Steelers are something like 25-4 against rookie quarterback.
Right.
And they're going to hammer this team this week. The thing I don't like, and you and Claudio did it very, very well. Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going in these football games looking like the Indianapolis Colts back when Peyton Manning was the quarterback. They're not preparing themselves for the playoffs. Listen, been through the football 46 times against Cincinnati in the blowout, 42 times against Dallas, 49 times against Tennessee. What are we trying to do here? We trying to win a championship, or are we trying to stomp mud in a MAC school? The Steelers are inferior competition, and all they're doing is throwing the football. They're not even working on that running game that needs a lot of help. And listen, and finally, Antonio Brown. I tell you what, man, Steeler fans are soon to forget how many great moments he had here. Listen, you're piling on the young man, just because he destroyed a camera in his game.
And a bike.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't live in that community. Hey, listen, I just want Antonio Brown to go ahead and finish out this season. You know what I mean? This is a guy that's good for the National Football League. He's good for Tampa Bay. Brady took him under his wing. He's living in his house. And I just hope that Antonio Brown, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, can make it all the way to the Super Bowl this year.
All right, Smoker Jim. I definitely disagree with that. Yeah, he did have some great moments. He flipped out at a lot of coaches. He hit a couple of Gatorade cans. Didn't really do a lot of great things with his teammates. Got mad at Juju when he got the MVP. But yeah, a lot of great memories, Smoker Jim. Listen, I want to talk about something that's really important. Not Antonio Brown getting his mental health together. My thing is this: Steelers, unbelievable season so far. I think Tomlin really needs to get some Coach of the Year consideration. But Ben has been the comeback player of the year. One thing you said, I think we really got to start working on Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland. It's obvious that James Conner has lost a step. He wasn't fast to begin with. He's running like he got a refrigerator on his back, as Smokin' Jim always says. He can't get to the outside. He's missing holes. Sometimes you just lose it, or you hit a wall, or you never had it. I don't know which one it is with James Conner, but it's one of them. We got to start working out the rookie, Anthony McFarland. Yes, he's not a power back, but if you're going to get to the outside, use your fastest running back. Benny Snell, if he can hold on to the ball and get out of the doghouse, I'd like to get him a shot. James Conner does not have it. We got to move on from him. And why did we bring Watt in if he's healthy and still doesn't get on the field? Put the fullback in there. I'm tired of the 4th and 1, Ben sitting in a shotgun, or 3rd and 1, Ben sitting in a shotgun. He won't do a quarterback sneak. We got a big fullback. Give him the ball or let him open up the hole for running the running backs. It's quite simple to me. I don't know why they're making it harder, but there's nothing worse than 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, and they're sitting in a dag going shotgun. I hate that style. I think it's going to come back and bite them against the teams that can score with you. You're going to have to be able to hold the ball, run the ball, and keep that clock moving. So that's one thing I'm concerned with. Real quick, as we get ready to run out of time, any predictions after I get through some of these last comments? Tyson says his vision is trash too. Definitely agree with that. Holes are there. He runs towards the defense. Vince said, yes, we need Benny Snell in there as well. All right, real quick as we run out of time, Smoker Jim, predictions.
As far as what, score?
Score, yeah, score. That's usually what a prediction is. I mean, I didn't know.
I was just going to say that Benny Snell is averaging 1.6 yards a carry, and you want him in there. And McSorley's Wonderlic test is lower than Troy Polamalu's, and we know how it is.
I don't go by that bias test. I don't. Yeah. Some of the worst Wonderlic tests are Hall of Famers, so I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Jim, what was your Wonderlic test? You won't say that though.
I flunked it. I had a tutor. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers go down there. I'm predicting Ben has passed 49 times against Tennessee. He'll go past that against Jacksonville. He'll be passing in the 50s, man. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers blow them out in a high-scoring game.
All right. I'll go next. I think it's Jacksonville has struggled. They did fight hard against Green Bay. Really had a chance to win that game, but I think this is the game that we can finally, run the ball a little better. Jacksonville's run defense isn't great. I think Corner can get 70 yards, and that's great for him because he only had 30 the last couple. But I think he can get 70 yards. Maybe we get some of the younger guys in there. Their defensive backfield is young, inexperienced, and not very good. Ben's going to throw for another 250 yards, maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns. They have nobody can match up with our receivers. Chase Claypool's going to have a big game. I'm looking for him to go deep against this young secondary. Juju also is going to definitely have a great game. And Deontay Johnson, man, there's nobody that can stop him one-on-one. I mean, he can make moves. It's pretty much the same move that he makes every time, but nobody can stop it. So, yeah, I'm looking for us to win this one pretty big, 24-7. I think we're going to really hurt that young quarterback. All right, let's see. Get these last comments and we'll get Jim's predictions. Steelers will run for big yards and people will complain that we can't pass. I like that. Yeah. All right, Hayton Lee, Tomlin, most losses as a minority coach. Shut up, Lee. Lee is terrible. All right, Terry French, 27-7. Yeah, he's in line with me. All right, Jim, as we wrap up, what's your thoughts? What's your predictions?
You mean me?
I mean, Claudia.
Okay. Claudia. I think I don't think they're going to run the ball. They should run a little bit more, but I still think because that secondary is kind of weak, Ben's going to put holes in it. Claypool, I think, is going to have a big game as well. Johnson, they're going to have some big yard catches, in my opinion. I'm looking for Pittsburgh to win 32-17. I think Jacksonville is going to do a little bit better than Cincinnati did. Cincinnati looked awful. Burrow looked terrible. I think this kid's going to do a little bit better. I think Robinson's going to do a little better. So I think they may squeeze out 17 points, but I'm looking at 32-17 Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. Hey, we're out of time. We had some technical difficulties. Jim's Obama phone went out today. So hopefully we get that squared away. But great show. We had some great predictions. I want to thank Terry, Tyson, Lee, John, everybody,
Vinny.
And Vince. Yeah, Vinny who came in for helping us out, man. Should be a great game. I think we go 10-0. And so far we've been spot on. We got to keep it going all the way to the Super Bowl, right, Claudio?
Well, they got it. They got it going on for sure. And the thing is, like I keep saying, I don't think they're anywhere near as good as they can be.
Exactly. We know Tomlin's teams get better later on in the season, so that's scary for the rest of the NFL. So I'm excited. Any last final thoughts before we close out, Smokin' Jim?
Yeah, I'm enjoying looking at the Peyton Manning Indy Colts that would dominate the regular season and fail in the playoffs.
Oh, here you go with that hate. I don't.
Hey, real quick. You know what I keep thinking about? When Mike Tyson was blowing through everybody, right. As soon as he fought somebody who punched back, he didn't do as well. Is that an issue? They haven't had really anybody. If the Steelers had a close game, it was more the Steelers' fault than it was the opponents. So that's something to just put in your pocket.
They've had some close games, though, Claudio.
Right. But was it because of the other team or because the Steelers just didn't do as well?
Hey, the other teams are getting paid too. I think there's a very small difference between the worst team in the league and the best team in the league. So, I think they're doing what they need to do. I like the fact that they were able to win some of these close games that last year they may have lost, or years later they may have lost. So,
right.
Is Lee Oh, here we go. More hate on Tomlin. Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. That's our time. We got to wrap up. Make sure you check us out every week before the game, 10 o'clock. And that being said, for Smokin, Jim, Claudio, I'm Luther. We'll check you out next time. Peace.